Hello students, let's start our next chapter, nuclei. So let's start from the first of the topic, composition of nucleus. So in the Rutherford experiment, we got that most of the atom is empty because more number of alpha rays are being passed and deviated. So that clearly shows us that most of the atom is empty, and he also stated about one important point which is called nothing but the nucleus, which he told that in the postulates the entire positive charge is concentrated in a very small volume at the center of the atom. And why he stated that and all we have already discussed in the Rutherford's experiment, since because out of all the alpha rays which are incident on that gold foil, one in a very few, one out of all that, like 9,000 whatever you can call the number, out of them will a very few have been bounced back. So and that too one particular ray went to the 180 degree scattering, so which clearly indicates that there is a central positive charge and that was situated it in a very small region, and he termed that central part of the atom where the entire mass of the atom and positive charge are concentrated is known as nucleus. Rutherford, which is nothing but he gave that naming. And of course later on, after the discovery of the neutron by Chadwick and regarding the other physical significant developments that led to the further development in the topic. So first let us start from the constituents of the nucleus, or you can call it as a composition of nucleus. And as you speak about the nucleus, all atomic nuclei are made up of elementary particles called protons and neutrons. Every nuclei is made up of protons and neutrons. And remember, proton is the nucleus of the hydrogen atom. Obviously, hydrogen 1, right? The first element. It has a positive charge 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb, having a mass 1.67 into 10 power minus 27 kg. Remember, this is nearly 1836 times the electron mass. And electrically the another component, which is nothing but the another constituent, neutron, is electrically neutral, which means neutron carries no charge at all, and mass of the neutron is slightly greater than that of the proton. And of course mass of the neutron you can almost treat that to be same, and the third decimal alone it will change. You can almost call that to be as 1.67 into 10 power minus 27 kg. Not a deal. Anyway, if you want the strict pure value, it will be 1.675. The third decimal alone it will change. Both the proton and neutron together constitute the nucleus. Keep that in mind. And we can call them to be as nucleons because of this property. Anyway, other than the electrical charge nature, all the remaining properties are very similar to that, and hence we can call a common name as nucleons. So the number of protons inside the nucleus is called the atomic number Z. Remember that. So the number of protons in a nucleus, inside the nucleus, is nothing but the atomic number Z. The total number of nucleons, which is nothing but the, what are the nucleons? The sum of protons and neutrons is nothing but mass number A. Remember that. So the number of protons and number of neutrons inside a nucleus of an atom is called atomic mass number and denoted by A. And how we can get pure number of neutrons, which is nothing but, you can see the equation here, it's A equal to Z plus N, where Z is number of protons while N is number of neutrons. If I want pure neutrons, N equal to A minus Z. Remember, and that is a very important value which we have to consider. N equal to A minus Z. A very important. Later in the development of the topic we will discuss about this. Number of neutrons equal to A minus Z, or of course from the same equation I am writing, it's nothing different, but remember this is more important, which we will use N equal to A minus Z. Are we clear with this? And suppose if you want to represent the nucleus for any particular kind of, we can represent the nucleus to be like here you can notice I am going to write down like X Z A, or sometimes both these values will be at the same side, which means like this also you can write down x, z, a, either of the notation, either like this or this. Out of that, x represents the chemical symbol of the element. X represents the chemical symbol of the element, while z is nothing but, you have seen already, the atomic number. A is nothing but mass number. Okay, so if I want to represent the carbon C612, or I can write it as C612, either on the same side or like this in the diagram. In either of the method, you can represent any of the notation. Are we clear with this? Okay, ma? Right. Now, look there. I have mentioned one more thing here, one more definition, atomic mass unit. Since because all these sizes, whatever we are actually speaking about, are in the order of Fermi, isn't it or not? And look about the size of this mass, it's nearly 10 power minus 27 kg. 1.600 to 10 power minus 27 kg, isn't it or not? So, such a very small numbers or such a small values which we cannot deal in a regular kind of the notation. So, in order to discuss about the subatomic particles, simply we can say a very small unit is needed for this to represent the masses, and that unit is nothing but atomic mass unit, AMU. And AMU is nothing but it is equal to, which is nothing but AMU is equal to 1/12th part of mass of carbon isotope C612, which is nothing but. So the reason is mass of carbon C612 is exactly 12 AMU. So 1/12th of mass of one atom of carbon C612, the general kind of. Okay, and you can ask me that, sir, why we have taken carbon alone? Why not all the remaining elements are also there, right? Why can't we consider that? Yeah, it is. Earlier oxygen was supposed to be used. There is a interesting story behind this. Earlier, at the very beginning, physicists used to use one different kind of atomic mass unit, considering the oxygen to be, while chemists use the other kind, which is nothing but the carbon kind of. So later you can Google this story behind the atomic mass unit. It's nothing that difficult, but all of a sudden that from the oxygen side, it was later converted to the carbon kind of for the unification and all. So it's a little interesting. Just Google that when you are free enough. Story behind the atomic mass unit. Just go through that. Okay. So for the calculation purpose and all, for the better thing, we consider one AMU to be as 1/12th part of mass of the carbon C612 isotope, which is more abundant, commonly available isotope in all the matter. Okay, right. Now, keeping that, we have to relate that, right? In order to remove this kg constraint, we have introduced that AMU. Now we have to represent what that AMU refers to, right? So mass of 1 gram mole of carbon is 12 gram, and from the Avogadro's hypothesis, if it contains n number of atoms, right, capital N number of, which is nothing but Avogadro number, 6.023 into 10 power 23, very well known. Thus, mass of one atom of carbon is 12 by n gram. That's it, right? Are you getting the point here? 1/12th, no. So 1/12th of mass of one atom of carbon. So 12 by, atomic mass is 12, no. So I'll write here C612. So atomic mass number is 12. So that's why 12 by 6.033. Since because 1 gram mole contains Avogadro number of particles, then 1 gram contains 12 by half. That's it, right? So 6.023 into 10 power 23. Remember, this is Avogadro number. So upon simplification, I can get 1.66 into 10 power minus 27 kg, and that is 1 AMU. 1.66 into 10 power minus 27 kg. Remember, AMU represents the average mass of nucleon, because there are two kind of the particles, right? One is the neutron and the another one is the proton. So AMU always represents the average mass of the nucleons, and AMU is close to mass of an hydrogen atom. So when you consider one hydrogen atom, this is what obviously, right, because hydrogen contains, so earlier we have already discussed about that. So hydrogen which has of, okay, because nucleus of hydrogen contains only one proton, and that's it, right? Obviously here also. So 1.66 into 10 power minus 27 kg, while mass of the proton is also 1.6 into 10 power minus 27 kg, almost nearly. That's what the reason why. So 1 AMU is close to mass of the hydrogen atom. Are we clear with this? Right. Let's look at the next one. Classification of nuclei. So we have discussed till now about the atomic mass unit, right, and the constituents of a nucleus. So keeping them in mind, we have this following kinds of the nuclei, different kinds of, okay, which is nothing but a nucleus can be classified into these following categories. Now let's see what are those kinds of. So starting with isotopes. Isotopes. So the nuclei having same atomic number but different mass number are called isotopes. Same atomic number, same Z, while having different mass number, A. Same Z, different A. Are you getting the point here? So they have same number of protons but different number of neutrons inside the nucleus. That's it, right? Same Z, different A refers to. And one more point is, because of the same atomic number, the isotopes of an element have the same place in the periodic table and therefore possess the same chemical properties. They don't have a separate space in the periodic table, since because their atomic number is same. Based on the atomic number only, right, we have the periodic table, right? Almost every element has isotopes, and the isotopes of we can have like you can hydrogen, of course almost all they are having. So some of the examples are like hydrogen 1,1, hydrogen 1,2, we can call hydrogen 1,3. Similarly for oxygen we have oxygen 8,16, this is the general one, oxygen 8,17, even we have oxygen 8,18. Similarly for chlorine we have 1735, 1737. The average of that 35 and 37 will consider the mass number to be, okay. And uranium 92,235, 92,238, very well known for you. So basing on the need of that in the nuclear reaction, we can refer the text, you can find a more number of isotopes, refer the textbook, okay. And sorry, and though isotopes have same chemical properties, their nuclear properties are highly dissimilar. So even though their chemical properties, they have the same kind of the chemical properties, and that's what the reason, right, they have been. And while their nuclear properties are highly dissimilar, because the constituents is different, right, the constituents of, so that was the reason, okay. And later in the radioactivity you will understand why I am using this. So keep that in mind, that though isotopes have same chemical properties, their nuclear properties are highly dissimilar. Are you getting the point here? Okay. And by the way, I think you are very familiar with this, that hydrogen 1,1, hydrogen 1,2, hydrogen 1,3. What are those names? Hydrogen 1,1 is called protium, and hydrogen 1,2 is called deuterium, and hydrogen 1,3 is called tritium. You know this, you know these names, right? Okay, right. Now let's look about the second one, isobars. The nuclei having same mass number but different atomic number, same mass number, different atomic number, different Z, same mass number, different Z, are called isobars. They have same number of nucleons, that's obviously in their nuclei, and hence they have same atomic weight. Moreover, the number of protons as well as number of neutrons in their nuclei are different in each case, and they occupy different positions in periodic table, and their chemical properties are also different. If you want, some of the examples are like hydrogen 1,3 and helium 2,3, same value, it is separate, A value, so that's why 3,3 of. Okay, right. Similarly, carbon 6,14, nitrogen 7,14. We can have this one also. Similarly, oxygen also we can have. Okay, fluorine, which will be off. next binary. So remember in the later in the radioactivity we'll discuss about this isotopes, isobars, isotones, isomers, all these terms we will use. So that's why I am giving you the intro for them. Okay, and suppose if the nuclei having same mass number but with the number of protons and neutrons interchanged, and they are called mirror nuclei. Mirror nuclei, just a very interesting factor, which is nothing but, look here, suppose I consider lithium 37, number of neutrons A minus Z, 7 minus 3 4. Okay, now what about for an example, if I consider beryllium 4 7 minus 4 3. Look here, 7 minus 3 4 neutrons, 7 minus 4 3 neutrons, atomic number has been, that's it, right? The nuclei having same mass number, both are having 7, but with the number of protons and neutrons interchanged, they are called mirror nuclei. It can be many of, so I am just telling you as a condition, like, okay, these you can call it as mirror nuclei. Mirror nuclei. Are we clear with this? Look here, number of neutrons 7 minus 3, n equal to 4 for this, while for this 7 minus 4, number of neutrons is 3. Now that has been exchanged. See here, whatever the number of neutrons became the atomic number, whatever the number of neutrons in the second case, that became atomic number in the first. That has been exchanged. So that's what we call it as mirror nuclei. Okay, right. Next, let's see the next one, isotones. Isotones are the nuclei having same number of neutrons, which is nothing but same A minus Z, n equal to A minus Z, right? Okay, so that's what I'm speaking about. Okay, same A minus Z value. Do you remember this equation? Earlier also I told you. So same A minus Z value, number of neutrons will be same. So for isotones, both the atomic number and mass number are different. Obviously that will be, and their A minus Z value will be same. If you want, some of the examples are like hydrogen 1 3 and helium 3 minus 1 2, so 2 4, let's say. So these are isotones, 3 minus 1 2, 4 minus 2 2, hydrogen 1 2, helium 2 3, like you can have many kind of isotones. So their A minus Z value should be same. Again I am telling you, for some more examples you just refer the text so that you can notice there. Okay, regarding the space constraint and as well as the time constraint, I am just giving one of the example, just like 1 or 2 examples for each case. So go through all, you can find many there, you can verify. Okay, right. Now let's look at the next one, isomers. Here it is. Isomers are the nuclei having the same mass number and same atomic number but different radioactive properties. What do you mean by this radioactive property? Sir, we have not discussed this about radioactive property, right? So later we'll discuss, but instead of that we can call this to be as different energy. We'll call it as different energy, same A and Z, both are having same A and Z, while this is be nothing but isomer. I can call like a XZA star, I'll represent with, since because having the energy, while the isomer will be nothing but XZA. Here there is no star at all, which means energy, high energy, low energy, same nuclei. Later in the radioactivity we will discuss about this. Okay, so isomer. Are we clear with this? Okay, and strictly speaking, regarding the stability, which is having less energy will be more stable, which is having greater energy highly unstable. So unstable, stable nuclei, in order to represent them we use the term isomers. Okay, right. Coming to the last classification, isodiaphers. This is also the mathematical kind of nuclei having different atomic number and mass number but with same excess number of neutrons or protons, which is nothing but same A minus 2Z, excess number of neutrons, same A minus 2Z value, we call it as isodiapher. Some of the examples are like sodium 1123 and aluminum 1327. We can give this to be like same A minus 2Z value. We can find out this. So that's it, right? Look here, A 23, 2Z, 2 11s 22, 23 minus 22 1. Similarly here 27, A 2Z, 32s 26, 27 minus 26 1. So same A minus 2Z value. Such a kind of nuclei having same A minus 2Z value are called isodiaphers. Sir, this and all okay. We have many all these different kinds. No, how to remember all these isotopes, isotones, isodiaphers, isomers and all, right? So just a simple memory technique, or you can call it as a mnemonic for this to remember. Okay, you might be familiar with this, but just I am telling you. This isodiaphers, look at this. This you can remember. It's not a deal. A minus 2Z value. So keep this aside for a while, because isodiaphers, di refers to 2. So out of all, we are having only this A minus 2Z value. So it is easy to remember isodiaphers, A minus 2Z value. Most of the thing will be confusion between isotopes, isobars, isotones, isomers. Only this. So look at the third letter from the ending in all. Here P, here A, here N, here E. Look here. Are you observing? In the isotopes, P is the third letter. In isobars, A is the third letter. In isotones, N is the third letter. While in isomers, E is the third letter from the ending. From the ending. Understand that? So, look here. P, protons, same Z value. So, isotopes are the nuclei having same protons. Z refers to? What do you mean by Z? Atomic number refers to? What do you mean by Z? It is nothing but number of protons, equivalent rate. So that's what number of protons in an atom is nothing but Z. So same Z refers to proton. So P. Do you understand? So third letter P, protons. Isobars, A, same A value, mass number. That's it, right? Mass number is represented with A. That's what, right? So the third one. Are we clear with this? A. The third letter is A. Mass number is denoted with A. Okay. Forget about for a while that capital A, small a and all. So for the memory constraint. Okay. Right. Coming to the third one. Isotones. Same A minus Z value. Third letter is N. Number of neutrons. Number of neutrons. Number of neutrons are represented with N. Have you noticed that here? So N. Coming to the E. The fourth one. Isomer. E, right? The third letter is. What do you mean by this E? Energy. Energy. So are we clear with all the mnemonics or all the memory techniques to remember all this? Isotopes, isobars, isotones, isomers. So most important thing is you need not to remember all these conditions. If someone say what do you mean by an isobar, remember this third letter and from there you can same A value, which is nothing but mass number. If someone asks you about isotones, third letter is N, so same number of neutrons. Are we clear with this? Isodiaphers, anyway you have to. Di refers to A minus 2Z. Out of all this we have only so excess number of neutrons, isodiaphers, which is nothing but. So are we clear with this?